Hello and welcome into another edition of Melton Talks Movies. Happy Purge night to everybody watching out there. I'm here hunkered down with my good friend Mr. Aaron Daniel, also a big horror movie fan like myself. Aaron, how are you this evening?
I'm good. Nervous, but I'm good.
Yeah, the Purge is nothing to joke about. We're a little horrified right now. We don't know what's going on outside that door, nor do we plan to find out for any reason. So we're excited to be hunkered down right here talking about the film series The Purge, which the third one, The Purge Election Year, just came out, and we are here to review the entire series for you. So let's start off with Purge 1. This was the Ethan Hawke home invasion style thriller. I got you to watch it this week, Aaron, for the first time. What were your thoughts?
It's the reason I didn't watch it to begin with when they were panned by critics and fans alike. It was what I expected it to be. It wasn't great. It was. I said I thought it was a kind of a watered down version of The Strangers from 2008. It had a similar feel for like about 40 minutes of that movie. There was very little payoff in the end. To me, the best thing about it were some of the villains outside the door, and that was really about it.
Truly, the best thing about it was it introduced this concept that people just can't get out of their head of what would the Purge be like on a night like tonight when it's been enlisted and here we are hunkered down. And what are the chances your car would break down on the night of the Purge? That's not so good, but it's what happened in the second film. And it really put them in a tough situation. You had a young couple, had to do some last minute grocery shopping. Next thing you know, they're out in the middle of the Purge and they're stuck out there. I'll tell you this, I've been here all day long. I never plan to leave. I will call in every Purge day like today.
Yeah, not good when your car breaks down on a night like this. It's tough. But thankfully, it wasn't my fuel line that was cut, just a tire. But it was, either way, nonetheless, the car breaks down. You're not gonna be able to get anywhere. Purge 2 was an improvement to the Purge, and yes, the concept is a wonderful concept. Is the execution that was flawed in the first one. The second one's execution was better. It showed a much wider array of what the Purge night could be like. And that was what was critical about that, was being able to show different aspects of the Purge as opposed to one home invasion.
All right, now we are a few minutes away, I think, from the Purge announcement coming through. We are monitoring it on our mobile phone, and it looks like, yep, here we go. It's time. We're officially in the Purge.
This is not a test. This is Talk 99.5 announcing the commencement of the annual Purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the Purge. But honestly, why would you choose to go with anything less than a Class 4 during a night like this? All other weapons are restricted. Another reminder to also clearly be wearing orange and blue or crimson and white during tonight's events. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime will be legal for 12 continuous hours, meaning Alabama's governor can put his hands wherever he pleases. The Alabama Speaker of the House can accept money from anyone he wants, and Alabama's Chief Justice can just continue to ignore what is being said. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, but your favorite pizza place is staying open for delivery, so please tip the driver well. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. And don't forget, you can stream tonight's Purge coverage at talk995.com. Good luck.
Things are going to get rough tonight. I'm pretty scared. I'm going to be honest. This is nothing to joke about.
That reminds me, I need to make a phone call.
Well, we were going to review Purge election year, but it looks like Aaron is busy doing something else. Obviously needed to make a phone call. So let's just get right into the series and where we are at this point. The other two movies, they took about, I think it was $12 million to make those first two movies. They've made over $200 million. So you can bet this series is going to continue on with Purge election year like it did, because it's a money-making juggernaut in the horror world. So the concept is something people are on board with, but have we had that quintessential Purge film yet? And is Purge election year, has it lived up to the hype of what the series could ultimately become? Well, let me get right into it and say, I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And it was probably the worst movie-going experience I've ever had. Let me explain why. I get in the line to go purchase my tickets. There's a woman in front of me asking a million questions about the different popcorn options and saying, if I come back here next week and I get a combo number 2 and a combo number 4 and I substitute the candy from 6 into 4, there's a line out the door. Then a woman came in behind me. She brought her kids to the movie, which makes me very uncomfortable when people bring their kids to a horror movie. But anyway, let's get into Purge election year. I think, Aaron, how did your phone call go?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird that you had to step away like that.
Well,
Yeah.
it was important.
All right, I see. Anyway, Purge election year. We've both seen it. We didn't see it together. We haven't talked about it, so we don't know how each one of us feels about it.
Yep.
But let's get into what we really liked about the film. I'm going to start with this. I thought the film was very effective in its use of music to really set the tone. The music didn't really stand out as much as what songs they selected, but the use of the music during certain times of the movie to really emphasize some really disturbing dialogue and scenes that were happening, I thought that was an effective use to really advance the story.
You like sound, I like the imagery in the movie.
Oh,
the imagery
I'm
I thought
with
was
you.
wonderful. A lot of the shots, in particular, a lot of the scenes either down an alley or you might see a certain tree as the van's driving down the road. There was a lot of imagery in there that was really very disturbing and perfect for the horror genre. Even though this series has become more of a, less of a suspense, type of psychological horror and more into the action realm.
Yeah, that's probably one thing that was on the negative side. Is it felt like there were one too many gun battles, and it became an action fest. It wasn't really that suspense thriller that you had hoped for, but it was suspenseful. Mm-hmm. But Frank Grillo's really the reason why it's suspenseful. He's the main actor from the second one. He returns here in the third one, and he's really the star of the franchise, no doubt about it. Yeah. And I really think that he's a big home run for Purge election year, as well as Purge Anarchy, which was the second one.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job in this movie as basically the lead of this. We saw one character, move on from 1 to 2 in what was known as Dwayne or the Stranger. Going from being the homeless guy in 1 to being a part of the militia in 2, and then you had Frank's character in this case do the same thing from 2 to 3, much bigger on the food shelf in this case. Yeah. But it was really good on their part doing that. I wish we would have seen some particular weapons a little more than we did because of the trailer. You may have seen in the trailer the guillotine that was in there. It's basically That's it. That's the trailer.
And what did the French call the guillotine, Aaron?
La guillotine.
Which is what you originally called it, which
Yes.
was what I was hoping he would unveil in this video.
There you go.
For us.
I love my U.S. or my French Revolution history.
There we go. So everything that happened on the streets was really disturbing imagery. We really thought that was powerful stuff. Let me just get into some of the subjects that this movie tackles, and start a counter right now for me, please, if you would. Race, religion, gender, politics, economics, business, history, healthcare, social classes, tourism, warfare, generational divides, policy, insurance reform. That's just to name a few. I don't know what count we're up to, but I'm sure on the screen you see it right here, and it's flashing right below me. Yes. All right.
Did you record these all while you were watching the movie by any chance?
Just in the back of my brain, I was going, this is touching on a lot of subjects. It's a heavy, heavy horror film.
To me, the overt thing in that movie was religion. That was the one they touched on the most in particular. It was very clear they were trying to make a path of talking about extremism in particular. And they certainly it was not a subtle message.
See, I feel like social classes / race was really at the forefront of this film. There were a lot of jokes about race, and there was also the villain's main motivation had to do with race and social classes. So I would say that was the number one. I will say this, it had a lot of jump scares. They were very effective. Effective kill scenes in the movie. Great costumes, really eerie costumes using Americana imagery.
And you had a main plot and a subplot in this. And one of the negatives I have was the subplot villains did not last long enough to me. I was really disappointed with that because they were some of the creepiest characters in that entire movie, especially when you see it the first time they come down on Purge night, during the night. That's one of those images that will stick with you.
I will say this, when we get to the negatives, some characters made some stupid decisions, which in horror movies that happens all the time, but it's like, we're finally in a place of safety. I'm going back out there. It's like, what? Come on, what are you doing? We're here, tucked away on Purge night. We're not about to go step outside for any reason. We're just hoping this thing gets over with quick. It's been pretty quiet so far. We're only a few minutes into the actual Purge, so that's pleasant. That I don't hear anything, so that's good. So one of the low points for the series for me has been the marketing of this third film. I think it's the strongest film yet in the series, but yet I've seen the least amount of marketing for this film than any of the other ones. Maybe it's because the concept's more well known, but I feel like most of it was done digitally instead of through traditional media like cable and... Aaron?
Yes.
Is that the doorbell?
I believe it was.
Why is the doorbell ringing on Purge night?
I don't know.
Okay. The doorbell just rang again.
Yeah.
And you don't seem as alarmed as I am. What are we going to do?
I don't know.
Well, you better... We gotta go. We gotta handle this. I got a smart doorbell. I can see it. Don't worry, I got mine. Why is there an ice cream scoop in your bowl?
Aaron Daniel, I'm here for you.
What? Want me? Give it back. Give it back.
I know you're in there. This is the last time this is happening to me tonight.
Why are you leaving a bat? Enough. Screw it.
Yes.
Are you Aaron Daniel?
Yeah.
3850.
What?
3850.
Yeah, just a second. Unbelievable.
Happy Purge night.
Same to you. Unbelievable.
I cannot believe you let me fear for my life over a pizza order, and you didn't even tell me you ordered pizza.
I forgot.
You didn't even ask me what kind of pizza I wanted, which is another level of angry.
Fair enough.
Who invites people to your home on Purge night? That's what I want to know. Anyway, let's not get into it. here's what we need to get into, and that's our grades for the film. I'm going to actually let Aaron Daniels speak, even though he's lost the right to do so by his actions from earlier in the night. But Aaron, what would you grade Purge election year?
All right. Some people usually, when they use a grading system, you think like they'll pass, fail. 60 would be a D and up. I usually do about a 20 interval. So F would be 1 to 20. 20 to 40 would be a D,
this
and
is
so on.
Way
so
too
forth.
complicated. But I will say this: before you give your Purge election year grade, can you give your grade for the other two just real quick so people have a basis?
The other two, I'd give Purge 1 would be a D minus.
Wow, that's really low. Okay.
Awful. Purge 2, I would give a more of a C, just a straight C.
Okay, and Purge election year?
I will give that a B minus.
Wow. Okay, so you're saying this is a series that's getting better with age.
Yes.
I totally agree with you on terms of it getting better with age. Purge 1, I'd give a D+. Purge 2, I'd give a C+. Purge 3, I'm going to give a B+. I thought it was really well done and very timely with using politics, with the current situation we're in, with the candidates in which we're in. So yeah, I would go B+, you went B-. So overall, a pretty good time at the movie theater.
Subtlety was not the theme of this movie by
No.
any stretch of the imagination when it came to themes in there.
All right, but a lot of fun to be had if you're a fan of horror. If you're not a fan of horror, stay away from this movie. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Stay away from the series. But if you're a fan of horror, you're probably already here with us at the end of this video for a reason. Go see Purge election year. All right, Aaron, it's time to eat some pizza.
Yep.
All right.